All right, Sammy. So right now, what we're going to do is these are going to be review problems. And I would say attempt the problem, pause it, and then maybe fast forward if you think you got it. But if you need to watch the video to understand the problem, by all means, stop the video and or watch the video. All right. So let's get to this. I'm going to kind of fly through them because you can pause and rewind. All right, first one, multiplying same bases. All right. If I see I have same bases here, I write it as one single base. And remember, what do we do with the exponents here? I add them. So I would get x to the 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So it would be x to the 10. Okay? Next one, power to a power property, right? If I go ahead and do this in the calculator, right, I'm basically doing 2 to the 8th power. But then I'm going to raise h to the 3rd to the 8th and k to the 8th. Now, 2 to the 8th power, if I multiply 2 by itself 8 times, 2 to the 8th power is going to be 256. So, 256, then h to the 3rd to the 8th, I'm going to multiply those exponents to get 24. Then k to the 1st to the 8th would be k to the 8th. All right? Over here, when I look at this quantity, right? Am I raising it to any exponent? No. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite that as y to the 3rd times x to the 11th. But then I'm going to raise everything here to the 2nd power. So times 6 to the 2nd is 36, x to the 2nd. Now when I rewrite all of this, 36, I always write the coefficient first, and then I'm going to write it in alphabetical order. Multiply the x's, I'm going to add these exponents. 11 plus 2 is 13, then y to the 3rd. Okay? Here, quotient property. I look, I have 25 x's on top, 10 on bottom. Cancel all 10 out. I take 10 off the top. How many do I have left? 15. Then 2 y's on top, 1 on bottom, cancel 1 out. How many do I have left? 1 up top. I have no z's to cancel out, so I just leave my z up there, and I am done. Next one, everything inside this parenthesis is going to be raised to the 2nd power. So 3 to the 2nd is 9. R to the 3rd to the 2nd, multiply these exponents to get r to the 6th over 4 to the 2nd power is 16. Can I reduce or cancel anything? No, so leave my answer as is. Number 7, right? Everything inside here is going to be raised to the 2nd power. So 5 to the 2nd is 25. Q to the 4th to the 2nd, multiply these exponents to get q to the 8th power. Now, 6 to the r to the 6th to the 2nd is going to be r to the 6 times 2 is 12. S to the 1 times 2 is 2. And then t to the 1 times 2 is 2. And I cannot simplify that any further. Number 8. Everything inside here is going to get raised to the 2nd power. So x to the 4th to the 2nd, multiply, so I get x to the 8th, times x to the 3 times 2 is 6, over x to the 2nd, y to the 2nd. So I raise everything in here to the 2nd power. Now what I like to do from here is multiply these same bases by adding those exponents to get x to the 14th over x squared, y squared. But anytime I have x's in the numerator and denominator, I have to cancel. So take 2 off the bottom, which means I have to take 2 off the top, and I have 12 left. So x to the 12th over, and I cancel any y's out. So y to the 2nd. So this one, I'm going to raise everything inside the parentheses to the 3rd power. 4 to the 3rd power is 64. R to the 3rd to the 3rd is r to the 3 times 3 is 9. S to the 6 times 3 is 18. Over 8 to the third power, right, gives you 512. Then r to the second to the third is r to the 2 times 3 is 6. Then s to the third. But now I have some simplifying to do, right? 64 divided by 512 can be reduced, right? So 64 over 512 is going to give you 1 over 8. But then I have 6 r's on bottoms, 9 on top. So if I cancel them out, I have r to the third up top. Cancel these 3 s's out. How many do I have left on top? S to the 15. All right. Next one. Now what I like to do here is I'm going to raise this power to a power, right? And that's going to become x to the 5th, y to the 5th, z to the 6th, all raised to the 4th power. I multiply these together. Now, when I raise everything in here to the 4th power, I'm going to get x to the 5 times 4 is 20. Y to the 5 times 4 is 20. Then z to the 6 times 4 is 24. These fraction problems, again, raise everything here to the second power first. So f to the third to the second is f to the 3 times 2 is 6. G to the 5 times 2 is 10. Over 4 squared is 16. G to the second times f to the 4th over f to the 4th. Oh, which if you notice, those just cancel out right away. Now, can I simplify this? Well, I can't reduce the f's, so it's going to be f to the 6th. But then, if I have 2 g's on bottom, 10 on top, I can cancel 2 out. How many do I have left? G to the 8th. And do I have anything to simplify to 16? No. So I leave it as is. So with this one, I'm going to put this all over 1 right now. I'm going to raise everything inside here to the third power. So 2 to the third is 8. So I get 8. Y to the third is y to the 9th. Z to the 10 times 3 is 30. All over 1 times. Everything in here now is going to get raised to the second power. So z to the second is z to the 2 times 2, which is 4. Over 2 to the second is 4. Y to the second, z to the second. Now, when I multiply across the top, I'm going to get 8, y to the 9th. Then, when I multiply these z's, I'm going to add those exponents to get z to the 30 plus 4 is 34. Over 4 y squared z squared. And right away, when I simplify this, 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 y's cancel out, 2 on top, which leaves me with y to the 7th. And then 2 z's on bottom cancel 2 off, so I have z to the 32nd. And this is my final answer. Here, if I look at this to the second power to the third, it's going to give me 4 r to the third, all to the 4th power, over 2 to the third power is 8, r to the 6th. Now, I still have to simplify that. Okay, 4 to the 4th power. So I'm going to raise 4 to the 4th, 256, and it's going to be r to the 12th over 8 r to the 6th. Now, 256 divided by 8 is going to give me 32. Then 6 r's cancel off 6 off the top, leaves me with r to the 6th. All right. Over here, it's a pretty straightforward problem. raise everything in the parentheses to the fourth power. So 4p squared, r to the 12th, t to the 16th, all over r to the 11th. But I can't reduce to 4. No p's can cancel out, so it stays p squared. But 11 r's knock 11 off the top, which leaves me with 1. And then t to the 16th. Done. All right. 2 more left. Here, what I would actually do here is simplify the inside to get y to the 5th. But then when I raise this power to that squared to the 4th is going to be y to the 8th, which is going to give me y to the 5 times 8 is 40. Here, again, I'll combine these by adding the exponents. So I'm going to rewrite that as x to the 9th, all to the 2 times 2 is 4, over, these all get raised to the second power, so x squared, y squared. And now, x to the 9th to the 4th is going to be x to the 9 times 4 is 36, over x squared, y squared. Now, 2 x's, take 2 off the top, and leave me with x to the 34th, over y squared. All right. Now, some of these are harder than they really need to be, right? But we need to be able to know these properties inside and out. So go ahead, work on the review, and we'll schedule a time to take the quiz together.